Hi, I'm Margaret, and welcome to Garden School. Well, I've done my watering. It's too hot to plant anything, and I need to have some fun in the garden. So today I'm going to make a big concrete leaf. Let's go gather our materials.
Okay, I have gathered my materials. I have a bucket with some water. I have some gloves. I'm choosing to use some disposable gloves, but if you have some crummy old garden gloves that you don't care that much about, that'd be fine. You can probably rinse most of the material off after you're done. I have a mask because this material is going to be dusty and I don't want to breathe it in. Definitely don't want to breathe it in. I have my mortar mix and I have a bonding agent, which is like a strengthener to help make that material be stronger, and then a scoop. I also have my mixing tool and a bin to mix the material in. I have my forming container. I just used this big bin that I have, but like a cat litter tray would work, maybe even a sturdy box, cardboard box. And then the material inside, I'm using pine needles because that's what I have. If you have sand, that would work really well as a material to place your leaf on so that it's not going to be flat, but it's going to have some shape. Now I'm hoping that these pine needles are sturdy enough to support the weight of the cement once I get it on the leaf. A couple of large plastic bags, some cooking spray, and there's my leaf. I'm choosing to use Darmera leaf. That's what I have, but you could use rhubarb. You could use gunnera if you're fortunate enough to have that plant. You want to use something that's going to have quite prominent veins on the back, and because this is the surface you're going to place the cement mix on. So I'm using Darmera. And then I'm also going to have cooking spray, and I'm going to have my hose handy nearby just in case. Okay. Oh, and I also have a kneeling mat because I'm working down on the ground. If you have a raised work table, well, bless you. Let's get started. My concrete, I want to make sure that my form is okay. And when I put my leaf on, this big leaf is pretty concave, and I discovered that the pine needles itself weren't going to support the very center of it when the weight of the cement is on there. So sand would be better and would form, but this is what I've got right now, so I'm going to try it. So I'm adding this rock here to be the support right for the very center of the leaf. And you can see my leaf will just barely fit into my container. That's going to be all right. I think it's going to support it well enough. The next thing I'm going to do is take a big plastic bag, and I'm just going to cover this with the plastic bag. Now my leaf goes on in position, and I'm going to try and make sure that the edges would be free so that I'll be able to spread the cement mix, the concrete mix over it. And I think I'm going to be supported enough in the center. We'll find out. And then I'll take my cooking spray, and we're going to just spray that leaf. And that will help the leaf material to come off of, to be able to be pulled off of the cement once it's dry. Another thing I will do, make sure those edges are going to be good because I want to make sure that I'll be able to get right to the edge of the leaf. And I'm going to just snip that stem off right there. Next, I'm going to put on the mask, put on the gloves, start mixing up my cement mix, and I'm going to be very gradual when I add the water, and I'm going to add just a little bit of this adhesive to help strengthen it. When our final mix is made, it's going to be like brownie mix or kind of lumpy pancake mix. So let's get going. the consistency, but I do want to add some of this bonding adhesive for concrete. So, and no, I don't have any proportion or amount. I'm just going to add, I mean, you could use this in place of water itself, but I'm just going to try that, see if that works. Well, let's continue to mix. Well, I think we have gotten to the right consistency with our mix here. And I've probably got most of the little clumps out. That's really important to take your time and mix thoroughly and get it to the right consistency. You can see that it's still viscous, but it will hold its shape. I think this is the right consistency. So let's go and get it onto the leaf. I'm just going to start by scooping a little bit onto the leaf, and then you can use a tool to spread it. I'm probably going to end up using my gloved fingers. Okay, well, let's get going. Hey, there's my covered leaf. Now, you'll know as you're doing this that when you try to come to the edge of your leaf, it's going to be thinner. So the thickness is going to be, there's going to be a big variety, a large variety of thicknesses here on this. Keep in mind where you want your center probably is going to be the thickest. And then I just took my wet gloved hand and went over this to kind of smooth out any rough spots. And you'll notice also that some of the leaflets maybe kind of overlap one another. That's just something to be aware of. And now I'm going to cover this with another sheet of plastic just to, keep hands or other things off of it. And I'm going to wait. I'm probably going to wait. I might wait until, I think I'll wait till tomorrow to try to turn this over and take a look at removing the leaf. Now, I have a little extra mix left up, so I'm going to spritz that with a little bit of water, go find a small leaf and make use of that mortar mix.
Well, I'd encourage you to clean up right away, and you'll discover that there's cement stuff on everything. There's on my arm. I gotta get that off. Yeah, so clean up right away. The sooner you clean up with water, the better it'll be, the easier it'll be. Now, my big leaf and then my junior leaf that I made with the extra, they are drying. And you would already see after maybe just a half an hour how they seem to be really set. I'd encourage you to wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try and wait until tonight to peek at them. I think it's probably better for me to wait until tomorrow. Well, so the longest thing is probably the mixing of the mix to get it, all of those lumps out and to get it to be the right consistency. The hardest thing is to wait and see what it's gonna look like. Well, we're in waiting now, so let's just wait.
I had a smaller leaf, a Darmera leaf that I used for the leftover stuff, and I have flipped it over and peeled the leaf off, and this looks pretty good. It's a nice little bird feeder or a little tiny bird bath or just some yard art. I'm pretty happy with that. It turned out really nice. So I'm really tempted to flip this big guy over and see what is going on underneath. It's very solid. I wouldn't say it's cured or anything. I think we'll turn it over and take a look. So I was able to turn it over, and this is really good. And now we're going to try to just peel that leaf off, and the bigger the sections you can peel and remove, the better. So I'm going to work on this, and we'll see how the leaf comes off here. Well, it took a little bit of work to get the plant material out of these deep crevices formed by the veins and that stem part there. But I found a little tool that could help me do that. And I am now just going to let this cure. I'm really pleased with this. One thing that I will say is if you don't want these rough edges like this, you can take, most of the time they're pretty thin right here on the edge. You could take a wire brush, and just kind of brush them off a little bit. to smooth that out. If you like that rough edge look that really mimics the plant, then that's, great. Go ahead and leave it. Now, the next thing that I would do is I'm just going to let this cure overnight for sure. And then I'll use a protective spray to just seal it. But I want to let this really dry. In fact, I might wait for a couple of days before I do that spray, and I just do it on the top and the bottom to protect it from staining. But you know what, it's going to be outside, it's made of concrete. Now you can add coloring agents to this material if you want to get into that. You can take a look at that. And also I wanted to say that I did a video on making smaller leaves. I think it was last fall and something like that. And it has similar information, but just for smaller leaves. And they were actually, more of them were flat, and I did them on a flat surface. So just, this is a different kind of, a little bit different technique for using a larger leaf and then using one that definitely has some curve to it. Yeah, that's great. I wanted to, I hope you can try that.
Well, I wanted to say thank you to a couple of gardening friends. One who a long time ago gave me a large leaf that she had cast out of concrete or cement and gave it to me as a gift. And I have it in my pond by my Dormera right here. And to another friend who taught me how to do the small leaf casting. Thank you so much. Well, if you're so inclined, take a look at how to do something like this, get your supplies, and go for it. It's really fun to be able to make something like this for your own garden. Well, there's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.